What the hell? Fixed plant issues with human thumbs growing out. Hello, welcome back to Mars. I'm Mick. We're playing Stationeers. So we have the new food update. And I've got a bit of an infestation here at the moment. I may have to call the owl exterminators. Okay, let's sort this out and have a look at some of the new toys we got. Chickens are gone. I seem to have got my frame rate back to something resembling a reasonable rate. Now, back to the update. Now we have had our food for thought update. It has given us some new cooking appliances, some new foods, some changes to our food system and our growing system. Now we'll notice first up that our cans of soup no longer have a expiry time on them, so they will last forever. I believe our cereal bars also do that, but I haven't got any of them to check. Everything else still has its normal expiry time. 18 minutes until your milk's gone bad. Now our fridges have also had a bit of an improve. Now they have had their gas pressures and temperatures adjusted, so while you could make a better fridge outside of the fridge, that's been changed now, so as the fridges have been adjusted, but it only applies to new fridges. So once again, as we did at the last update there, we'll just use a bit of game psychology and tell ourselves we've got a new fridge. Not like that. Now we pull it out and say, oh look game, I've just got myself a brand new fridge. It just happens to look exactly like the old one, but it's not, it's a new one. So now when we open it up, so we take something out there which is 2.6 hours in the old fridge, chuck it in the new one, that's now 3.9 hours. So this is now been adjusted to be the best way of storing our foods now to get it the highest buff on its storage. So that is one thing to get done. So get straight out there and rip out your fridges and reinstall them. Now next up, our microwave has changed. Whereas we used to just put in our can, we can't put our cans into the microwave anymore. Now we can just put in our food. It goes in one at a time, and when we cook it, we actually get, well, surprisingly, we get cooked food out of it. Our tomatoes go in, and we get a cooked tomato out of it, which we can just directly eat. Again, it's a better nutritional value than the raw tomatoes, but once again, they still have an expiry time on them, so they're not going to be as good as the canned ones. Now, to create our canned goods, we've got this machine here. This is our basic packaging machine. We can build that straight out of our basic electronics printer. Now it took me a while to figure this one out because I didn't read the instructions, didn't find out you had to stick it on a desk and plug it in. Now I figured that out, it works a lot better. So you can just drop your can in there and we've just got to pop in our cooked food. Now we still need 10 tomatoes and I can only produce them one at a time, which takes a while. And that is 10. Now pull the lever, hit the machine, we get some noises and we get our can of tomato soup. Now that's a pretty tedious way of making tomato soup, but once again it now won't go bad and that'll feed us a lot despite the amount of work that's in it. But I mean, you don't have to do it that way, because as with a lot of this stuff there, they've taken away our ability to quickly and easily make cans of food, but then they've immediately given it back to us with these machines here. We have our industrial cooker and our industrial packaging machine. Now it's an automated oven it's called, and an advanced packing machine. So once again, the advanced package machine just does the same thing as this one does. It just can be hooked up to a all cooked up to a conveyor system, so we're good to go. So now on this one here, you just select, put in your cans, put in your food, just pick out what you want. It'll store an inventory of food in there. Although I have noticed this one here, canned French fries. Is that a real thing or is that a joke? I think it's a joke, but yeah, some people have some weird stuff and it wouldn't surprise me. Right, so it's our oven. So it does, well, essentially what the microwave does is we can just grab our food, just drop it straight in, and once again pick a recipe and we've got stuff to go there. Now I have put food in here and I've had it in there for a long time, so I don't think stuff actually goes bad once it's in here. I imagine once I try and pull it out it'll probably go bad straight away, but maybe that'll be addressed later. But yeah, that seems to be a way of storing food pretty much indefinitely at the moment. Once again, you just pick your recipes here. We have some few other recipes there as well. And I can only imagine that this is just a game bug here, but I don't see any grilled cheese and Vegemite sandwich in there. It must be a bug because nobody'd leave that out of an oven. Surely. Must be wrong. But anyway, so we can just pick our recipe and say go and it'll start spitting them out. Now if we hook it up via a chute, or just get it close enough, it will spit them straight into our packaging machine, which once again also holds an inventory of our cooked items. And once again we can, the same way, just add our cans in there, and we now have the cans in our inventory as well. Once it has enough tomatoes, we can just pick our canned tomato soup and just say go and it'll spit out as much as we want. Now this one will allow us to just, still takes a while to do, but I mean it's a set and forget. We just walk away, and if it takes ages, it takes ages. Who really cares? It'll produce it quicker than we can eat it, so not a problem. Boop, 10, we're done. Can of tomato soup. Oh, look at that for nice health and safety. Safety door closed. And we have a can of soup. There's no thumbs growing out of that one. Now we also have our vending machine, a refrigerated vending machine, so you can store all your food in it, and it will, it's supposed to have the same cooling capacity that we have on the big fridge now. It is supposed to be the best cooler that we can have for maximising the life of our food. Although I must say I've got a bit of gripe on this one. Like the other vending machine, the switch is on the back. There it is. And it's just as easy to reach as the last one was. Not very. But anyway, that is our new kitchen appliances there. They're in the lovely kitchen orange, and they'll make life a bit easier. And my food's gone rotten. Right, now the decayed food, it is now stackable. They used to be just a stack of one, but now everything seems to decay into a stack of 25, which is the maximum size stack, so they're kind of still not stackable. And the benefits of this one now is the biofuel. We used to do, when you put your vegetables into the recycler, you get 10 biomass from each vegetable, and that would be somewhat overpowered. They've adjusted that now, so you only get 1 biomass for each vegetable, but each vegetable will now decay into 25 food, and 25 food will give you 25 biomass. So while they nerfed the biofuel by using direct vegetables, if you wait for it to decay, instead of being 10 times less powerful, it's now 2.5 times more powerful. Right, which brings us to the next big thing, which is seeds. Now we have seeds for all our plants. The seeds, once again, have no expiry date, so they will last forever. So whereas your food, you had to continually be growing. If you wanted to always make sure you had potatoes, you had to be constantly growing new potatoes before the old ones went bad. So you're always worried about things never quite getting there, always running out of one of your types of food. And then you'd have to go back to the trader. Now, it says in the patch notes there, we've had the starting food replaced with seeds, so there is no rush there to get planted. Now, our foods have also been given a bit of a buffer with fertilizer. So you can make fertilizer. It just comes in little balls of fertilizer. We just drop them into things like our hydroponics tray there. Give me some light. And then we can just plant things. What do we want? I'll grab some rice. That grows quickly. Now the rice will go in there and it will grow a lot faster now because of the fertilizer, and it will sprout twice as much plant from it, so we get twice as much rice out of it. And also, before it reaches the harvest stage, it will also sprout more seeds. And where the plants normally have 2 seeds, because we've planted this in fertilizer, we will get 4 seeds from it. Now it seems to be the fertilizer will last through 2 plants. Because I previously used these ones, when I plant them the fertilizer disappears. These ones the fertilizer stays. I'm guessing that's the way it's meant to be, but yeah, so these ones are actually all fertilized and they will grow very quickly. Well, being rice, it normally grows very quickly. So it's just got to stage 2 of its life. Once it gets to stage 3, it'll sprout seeds, which I'll be able to harvest, and then it will sprout into a plant, which I can then harvest the rice off. Now, a thing I have noticed with these ones here is you have to be careful because the tooltips on them aren't quite right. We sort of see here it says clear rice, which is if I now attack it, it will get rid of the rice plant. But once it gets to the stage where I can harvest the seeds, the tooltip goes to harvest seeds. But once I've harvested all the seeds, the tooltip remains harvest seeds. Where we go. It says harvest rice seed. It says this will create 4 rice seeds. If I fill 1, 2, 3, 4, it still says harvest rice seed. If I do it again, that's not what happens. It actually clears the plant. 2, 3, 4. Leave it alone. If it doesn't say this will produce, leave it alone. So it's just a mistake in the tooltip there. Once again, it's not a game breaker, just be careful with it. 3, 4. So we get 4 seeds out of them because we planted it with fertilizer. So they produced a nice stack of more seeds. Oh, we've got to the rice stage already. So once again, instead of 3 rice, we're getting 6 rice out of this one here. And we're good to go. Now, one thing I have noticed, I'm not sure if it's a bug or by design, but the fertilizer does not work with the hydroponics devices. So now we have the hydroponics trays, which seems to work fine, but the hydroponics devices do not. They do not accept the fertilizer, and I suspect it might be a bug because there's something else I've noticed with that one too. If I try and plant something, plant it in, it's fine. It's planted, not a problem. If I try and plant another one, nothing. That's just immediately disappeared. Plant wheat seeds. Try again, nothing. So it's using up my seeds, but it's just immediately deleting them from the hydroponics device. Now I have pulled out these and replaced them, and it's still happening. So just be careful with them. Once again, I can actually just give it to Harvie. And Harvie's managed to plant it fine. But if I try and do it manually, nope, won't do it. Plants, the first time I try and plant it from each time I load in, the first one will work, the subsequent ones will not. Now you don't have to just plant the seeds, you can plant your food as well. Well, I won't be able to in there. So we give it to Harvie, I give it the plants. So we still have that way of collecting food as well. So don't panic if you save games. You have to suddenly go and get more seeds. you can just plant your current food and grow it as you normally do. It will produce seeds from there and you can just harvest what you need. Now Harvie has become a bit of a difficult creature when dealing with trying to get it to harvest seeds, because there is nothing in the data which actually says when seeds are available to harvest. Now plants have different growth stages, and the stage before it is mature is when it gets the seeds, but some plants have 5 growth stages and some plants have 4 growth stages. So if it tries to harvest in the wrong growth stage, it will just rip the plant out of the ground and you'll lose the plant. So you've got to be careful with it there. So you have to actually find out what sort of plant is in there, figure out whether it's a stage 4 or stage 5 seed plant, and then pick the seeds out at the right moment. And once again, there's no way of telling how many seeds it's pulled out or how many are available there to pick, so Harvie just has to count them and guess. It's a bit of a hack, but I guess there'll be some nerd with no life who sits down and makes up that code like that. The link will be in the description. Right, but that's our planting. So we can produce a lot more food very quickly thanks to our fertilizer, and we have seeds, so we will always have something to grow no matter how long we forget about it. Now, where do we get our fertilizer from? Well, we get that from our composters, which I have outside. Now we have our two basic compost. Well, we have our basic composter, which is our portable one, just runs on battery. Stick your water in there, and you just need to drop in your spoiled food, decayed food, and it just goes straight in the top. It will chug away and eventually spit out some fertilizer at the back. As you get further on, once you've upgraded your printers, you can print out the advanced composter. Once again, similar sort of thing. You can just hook it up, just need a pipe connection to a water tank or any source of water, and we just have our grinder in the side, and we put in our decayed food and it'll just slowly grind it all up. We press go and it will spit out our fertilizer. Now why do I have these outside, you might be saying? Well, if we cove our gas sensor here, we can see that they are producing hydrogen, or hydrogen and nitrogen. So that's, I'm guessing the hydrogen is meant to be the volatiles, I should say, are meant to be the methane normally given off by decomposition. But we don't have methane in the game, so we've got hydrogen instead. So, but that will kill your plants. So as handy as this would be to have in your greenhouse, don't put in your greenhouse. So yeah, safety first, get that thing outside. Oh, there we go. We have a fertilizer. It does take a little while to get through, and it does consume a lot of water. So this is probably not going to be your friend on places where water is in short supply. Well, one of the things that I've really come to like on this one here is we got pot plants. Now you can grow vegetables and things in them, but it's just a pot plant you can put around the base. I normally put in the trays, the hydroponics trays, to be a bit of garden around my base. Now I've got pot plants. Now these are really cool. Although they do have a pipe connector in the back, you don't have to hook it up. You can just water it with your water bottles. Nope, watered. The plant's happy. That is pretty cool. Just a nice little decorative item. Now, on the promo picture that they had for this update there, they had some wonderful flowers in those ones there, although I haven't found them in the game yet, so I'm not sure if that was just an art concept or whether they're actually really there, but they looked cool, so I hope they're there, but they might not be. But anyway, there has been a lot of tweaks and balances to nutrition and recipes, and so aside from the cheese and Vegemite sandwich being missing, they all look pretty good. So that is the update. It looks like a good one, so till next time, happy cooking. See ya. Be free! Fly! Interesting. Go on, off you go. Get your kid. You two, be gone. Oh, that thinned the herd a bit. Still got a few to go. Oh, am I a horrible person? Well, that's a tough chicken. You, next. Ah, out of bullets. What else have I got? Ooh. Maybe not. Energy rifle. You fried chicken. John. Miss. Oh, I've got it on stun. Whoa, shit. Well, that's bad. Fire? Whoever needs a fire why? I should have used the explosive. Ah, what the shit. Oh, this is just going to shit, hasn't it? Okay, don't use energy rifle on chickens. They're highly flammable. Now. Ah. Wow. Shit. I'm too late. How are they still alive?